What up, IDS Mob? It's your dating coach, HarryWilmington here, and we're back with another jam-packed show. First off, I'm going to be responding to a woman that gave a response on my Why Staying on the Dating Apps Makes Her Pull Away video, whereby she disagrees with my assessment. We're going to talk about what she said and how I feel about what she said. We're also going to be going into mistakes that guys make with newly single women and how it is that when you're dealing with women that just got out of a relationship, you saying certain things or doing certain actions is going to result in her wanting to pull away. So we're going to give you an example of what that looks like. And then we're going to give you guys a crazy story of this woman who went out with this guy and nicely tried to tell him that she just wasn't feeling it anymore, and the crazy journey she went on, which will show you example of the things that women deal with when they're trying to just simply say, I'm not interested in dating you anymore, and why it is that they act a certain way in terms of ghosting and other things that up to this point, you may not understand. All this and more on today's episode of Harry Dating Conversations. Thanks for being here, guys. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into the first story, which is, I recently did a video where I said, the video was titled, Why Saying You're Off the Dating Apps Makes Her Pull Away. And in that video, I talked about how if you met a girl on a dating app, right? After like a month or so, you may think, oh, I'm gonna get off the dating apps. She's gonna be so happy that I did that. And oftentimes what I found is that when I did that, if the woman wasn't totally there in her feelings for me just yet, it seemed like it was too soon for me to get off the apps, and they would actually start to lose interest. So I just learned over time, hey, like it's better to wait until she says, hey, I'm off the dating apps, or at the point where you guys have a conversation about being exclusive or being in a relationship, then you can bring up, hey, if we're gonna do that step, let's get off the dating apps, right? So I had a woman that left a comment, and the woman said, and I quote, bullish, I just dumped a man who was still on the apps today. I'm not competing for a man. A man is supposed to court a woman. If he is still looking after several dates, then he is out. Ouch, that seemed a little harsh. So I will say this, thank you for leaving your comment. Obviously, like I cannot speak to your experience. So if you felt for some reason that you were being disrespected by this guy still being on the dating apps, then you have a right to feel the way you want to feel. I just want to highlight that just because that's how you feel about it and that's your experience, that does not mean that that is the norm. As I said in that video, in my experience, when I told women too early on, I'm already off the dating apps after a couple of dates, for them, it felt like too much. That may not be the way that you run your program, but I do want to point out a few things. For one, you don't express if you guys were already in a relationship or had already agreed to be exclusive. If that was a conversation that was already had, then it would make complete sense if after that, those conversations, he was still in the app. Totally in the right. But if you hadn't even had the conversation yet, I'd be really interested in hearing why it is that you felt that that was still being disrespectful. Like you may have had an idea that you guys were more serious on your end of things than the situation warranted, but he might have still been thinking, okay, but she hasn't brought up being in a relationship yet. I think right now we just expressed that we're just having a good time getting to know each other, but this isn't a sure thing yet, and I'm also in my right now, while we're not exclusive or anything, to still have conversations with other people. It doesn't mean that he's looking, but if he is, he's analyzing you just like he's analyzing other people, and he may not have come to a complete decision yet. That's totally fine during the dating phase. So why you would be hurt by that, again, you have your reasons for that. I just don't have an understanding of why that would be, because in the dating phase where there's no titles, that's completely acceptable for most people. The part where she says, I'm not competing for a man is supposed to court a woman. Well, those two things are completely different, because he was still courting you. If he was taking you out, still showing you a good time, still scheduling dates, then he was still in effect courting you. He might have been doing that with like 3 or 4 other people or not, or leaving himself open for that to happen while he's still getting to know you, but he was still technically courting you. Now, the whole thing about you not competing for a man, again, you're in your right to feel how you want to feel about that, but dating is a competition. Whether you had other competition like that were actual people or not, the reality is that during the dating phase, he could still leave you by the wayside at any given time because he hasn't made a complete decision on you. So you're still technically competing with how he feels about you and if he sees you as that person that's going to make it to the finish line of a relationship. But in my head, nothing he was doing was bad. But here's the more important part, right? Is that the reason that I stated that guys should not tell women that they're off the dating apps is because of my experience with women, where when I've done that, the result's been they pulled away. When I've coached men, they've come to me and said, I was dating a girl and things were going great, so I told her I was off the dating apps and she started to lose feelings. So this is all based on how women's responses have been when men have told them that more often than not. You might be the exception to the rule. I don't believe in that, but if you think that you are, that's totally fine. But I want to read examples of this that I saw on Reddit. So there was a Reddit post where a guy said, or the title was, I deleted my app when I met you. This is a woman asking. She says, is this a line guys just say? I tried online dating at the end of last year and deleted it after a month because I got overwhelmed, but I did continue talking to the existing matches I've made. At least 3 guys have said something along the lines of, I deleted my app when I met you after just meeting me once or twice. Is this some sort of line that is often used just out of curiosity? So this is a woman that's saying, I don't understand. All these guys are coming to me and saying that they deleted the app. Like, what's up with that? I don't trust that. So I can't now tell a guy, hey, if you go on a date or 2 or 3 with a girl and you find that you really, really like her, you know what? Be honest with her. Don't play games. Tell her that you've deleted the app, because I know from experience that more often than not, that's going to chase women away. Here's another post. This person, this is the guy. His post is, should I forget that my girlfriend lied about deleting Tinder because we're new? So he said, I, 36, met my girlfriend, 29, just 3 months ago. This is important. After a week of dating, we had a really amazing weekend and we both fell for each other hard. I brought it up and told her I deleted my Tinder because I wasn't interested in anybody else, and she agreed. She told me she deleted it and was happy with me. 2 months into the relationship, though, one of my employees told me he saw my girlfriend pop up on Tinder. I asked her if she deleted it, and she lied about it and said she didn't know how to delete her account and she wasn't active on it at all. After a while of talking, she said that she only deleted the app. She re-downloaded it to show me and it said her card was hidden. I glanced at it and it didn't look like she had been talking to anyone recently, but I didn't look thoroughly enough to see if she was matching with people. So she paused her account and deleted the app off her phone, but when I wasn't around, she downloaded the app again and was active. She then paused her account and deleted the app again. We talked about it a week later, and she said she kept her account because she didn't trust me because I was too good to be true. So she kept the app to see if she could find me using Tinder. I don't know if I should believe her or not. So we're going to say for the sake that she's probably lying about that. But here's the point, right? Why did she actually sign back up with the app? It's because she wasn't actually ready to get off Tinder yet, because, say it with me now, she did not know him enough yet to have that be a thing that she actually wanted to do. She went along with it so as not to hurt his feelings, but the reality is he shouldn't have gotten off the app that soon either. Yes, they had a week that was great together and had a great weekend together, but women fall in love a lot slower than guys do. I'm actually going to do a show about that later, about like an actual study that was done that shows proof that men fall in love a lot faster than women do. So women need 2 to 3 months to solidify their feelings. So during that time, yes, she could be having a great time with you and getting to know you, but the reality is she needs more time. And so to that end, she's going to want to keep the app open a bit longer, which means that most women are not going to judge you, guy, if you happen to have your profile up a little bit longer. At the point where you have a conversation about being more serious, that means you know she's now ready to make the step of getting off the app. But the fact that this guy brought it up so early on, when the reality is if he had just kept it, she wouldn't have been mad, and he might have felt weird about it, but like it wouldn't have been an issue. So again, this is the result of a woman reacting badly to a guy trying to get off the app too soon. Another person. The title is from a woman. He told me he deleted Hinge. Went on a third date with a great guy today. He mentioned in passing that he's deleted Hinge, the app where we met. Do you think that was a hint, or am I overthinking it? I don't want to ask him directly because I'm very undecided about him. So if it wasn't a hint, I don't want to be the one to bring it up. So what she's saying here, he's deleted the app. It's only been 3 dates, but she doesn't need him doing that. Why? Because she's undecided. So this is a woman saying, I'm having a bad reaction to this guy taking down his profile. So we go back to the girl in the beginning where the one on YouTube where she's like, I dumped him because I'm still in the apps today, because he was still in the apps. Again, the reason guys are still in apps is because the majority of experiences they have with women when they tell them that they're off the app early is that women start to question it, they think it's too soon, and they're the ones that are having a bad reaction to it. So if you come along and say, I'm hurt because the guy kept his app up, understand, for most men, when they take it down too early, bad things happen. This doesn't mean that he feels less for you, but they probably have the experience of like, look, I like this girl, but if she sees that my app is down, if she goes on the app and sees it's down, she's gonna think I'm already seriously invested, but if she's not fully committed to that idea yet, then she's gonna turn me down. Another person, I got into a dispute with the lady, 33, and I'm a 30-year-old guy. He says, I've been dating for the last 3 months. I told her I had recently deleted all my dating apps as we had been seeing each other for 3 months and asked her to be my girlfriend. She said she doesn't want to delete them as she wants to keep all the messages from guys she's chatted to in the past as she enjoys writing about some of the conversations and pickup lines, etc. She said they're all paused and she won't unpause them, just wants to keep the chat's history. I was confused and hurt by this idea and said I need time to think about it. What are your thoughts? So in this is a case where this woman's not being disrespectful, because it'd be one thing if she said, this is why I tell you guys also, you want the girl coming to you to ask to be in a relationship first. And then when she does that, you say one of your stipulations is you guys both got to be off the dating apps. Because this is an example where this woman is being disrespectful by saying, but I want to be able to look back on previous conversations I had with other guys. That's selfish, disrespectful, and this guy should immediately dump her. But to the point, guy, is that you as the guy should not be going to her asking to delete the app. You should be doing what I say, which is like you wait 2 to 3 months, the woman will come to you and say, hey, what are we, blah, 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 blah. And then you make a stipulation, you got to get off the apps. If she says, but I don't want to do that, then you say, okay, let's just keep things the way they are and don't get into a relationship with her until she agrees to delete the apps, okay? But again, she was still trying to stay on the apps. She was not going to punish this guy for keeping his apps up, right? And then this last one, this is a woman. Is it a red flag if the guy I went on a date with deleted his dating apps after we met? So we matched, exchanged numbers, he deleted the app, we went on a date, I thought it went well. He said he gets overwhelmed by the apps and constantly deletes and re-downloads the app on the date, which is understandable, but do you think he's hiding something? So because he wanted to delete the app, now she's like suspicious. Is he hiding something? Why would he do that? Why would he take it down? They want to put it like, it puts all these questions in a woman's head because again, she's thinking, what have I done to earn him taking down his dating app? It's only been a couple of dates. I know I'm special, but I'm still trying to build up feeling. How is it that he's already made a decision enough to where he's taking himself out of the running for any other girl? So guys, that's why I say that you are going to be better suited to not tell women that you have taken yourself off these apps, because if she does not have her feelings in the same realm yet, then it's going to result in women questioning what you're doing, and also it's going to probably start to make them lose interest. To this woman, I mean, if you're one of the few women out there that are like, man, the minute I date a guy after 1 or 2 dates, I want him off the apps, then congratulations, you are the rare unicorn of women that want that to happen. But as I've just shown you, more often than not for guys, that is not the case. And as such, I can't tell guys to take down their dating apps after 1 or 2 good dates with you, because it would be unfair and not speaking to the experience that is more likely to happen in these kind of scenarios. Now, guys, if you need help with your dating app life in general, I have a great program at my website called Smart Digital Dating. It is an 11-video program that walks you through everything on what kind of pictures to put up, how to put your bio out there so where women are going to be responding to it, how to message women on apps, and how to get them off the app onto an actual date. If you need help with that, check out the program at the website introvertdatingsuccess.com and be sure to download it today. So let's talk about dating women that have just gotten out of a relationship. I've managed to be one of the few successful guys out there, apparently, that have been able to take a woman that just got out of a situation, whether it was a breakup, a divorce, whatever, and manage to somehow get into a relationship with them. But part of the reason I'm able to do that is because I pace out my dating life in such a way that I am never rushing the process. But more importantly, early on in the dating phase, I'm not trying to do anything that makes it feel like I'm trying to get her into a relationship right away. And so many men have a problem whereby they get with a girl after a couple of dates, they're trying to say things or do actions that would give a girl the feeling tone of he's already putting me in the relationship category. And we want her to put you in the relationship category, but we want it to be her idea. We don't want her to feel forced, and we want to give her time to make her feel solidified in that decision. And one of the ways that guys mess this up, honestly, is by texting certain things and doing certain things on the phone that make her feel like, uh-oh, he's already making this feel like a relationship. I just got out of one. I'm not ready for this. So I found a guy that had an interesting text exchange with a woman on Reddit. And so he put these texts up, and he says basically that like he went out with this girl and they had a good time. She said that she was on the app to date romantically, but now she's suddenly turning away from that idea, and he's wondering if he came on too strong. Spoiler, he did, but he doesn't know what exactly he did that caused that to happen. So I'm going to read through his text, because just by seeing his text, guys, and I'll put him up on screen, I'm going to point out what he was actually doing that made it start to feel for her like it was a relationship, which caused her to back away. So this very first text is at 8:55 p.m. On Thursday, and he says to her, "Hope you got home safe. I had a good time tonight." So this is already his first mistake. I know you're thinking, Harry, it's just the first text. How do you mess up? This is him sending the text that if you listen to other gurus, they'll tell you to send. You want to get home and you want to send her that good night text. You want to send her that I got home safe text. You want to send her that text that assures her that you had a good time. This is the start of his downfall, because you do not need to send these kind of texts to women. You had a good time on the date. You know, as a guy, more often than not, you're going to have a great time, right? But you don't need to verbalize that for a woman so early on. And I advise you guys to take a girl on a date, show her a great time, and then you wait a minimum of 4 days before you reach out to her again to ask her for the next date. That's the point when she will know that you had a good time on the previous date. In between then, let her wonder if you had a good time. Let her build up anxiousness. Let her think about, well, geez, did I do a good job on the date? Like, did I show up the right way? Because he's not texting me back and forth like a bunch of these other bozos that I no longer want to see, but he's not doing it. What's going on? I need to talk to my girlfriends about this date that I had and wonder like put on our mystery glasses and try to figure out what he's doing and why isn't he contacting me? Like, all these things are fun for women. They're not fun for guys because we don't really like emotional roller coasters, but women like to go through all that, and it helps them build up like for you. So when you get home, very, very soon, because if you send this at 8:55, the date probably ended at like 8:30. So it's like immediate. That sending her a message that soon after a date, women are going to come in here and say, but Harry, that's a lie. I want to be assured. I'm just saying from my personal dating experience, I did a lot better when I just went on the date and then went home and then had no intention of contacting them for a few days. I found when I did that, the women of their own accord would reach out to me to say, hey, Harry, I had a great time. Thanks so much for the date. This, in effect, puts her into chasing mode. And as I always say, if she's chasing you, she's not replacing you. But when you do this kind of crap, it doesn't give her the room to chase you. It doesn't give her the room to reach out to you. And it starts the downfall of her interest in you to where she won't want to see you anymore. So that's just our first text. And then she sent a text saying, she had a good time. I did, me too. Thanks again for dinner. And then sent this random picture of her cats with flowers, which means this dude got her some freaking flowers. You should not go to a first date with anything. You're already taking her on a date. You're probably paying for like the dinner or the activity that you've chosen, okay? Doing things like bringing flowers, it's indicative of a guy that's honestly acting like a bit of a simp, and it's also showing off too much affection early on. And in her head, she's being shown affection from somebody that's never met her and doesn't know she's even deserving of flowers. Again, women will dispute this. This is all subconscious stuff, because this is the stuff that starts to play into like women, like they're thinking they want this. They want the guy that's gonna text them good night or had a good time. They want the guy that's giving them flowers. Yeah, they want that from boyfriends, from guys that they're dating. This is not gonna help build any attraction to him. But we'll continue on. So then he sends a text back saying, you're welcome. And also, they're adorable. Love the sun lounging, reference to the cats. So at this point, if you look on the screen, he's like quadruple texting. He says, you're welcome. He says, they're adorable. Love the sun lounging to the cats. He sends her a song called Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, a version for the piano. And then the next day, he sends a thing that says, when do you leave for Phoenix? That's 4 texts in a row that he did not need to send, because at the point where he said, you're welcome, he could have left it at that and then just waited to contact her when she got back in town, because based on their conversation, he knew she was leaving town, right? But no, he decides to text. So now what's happening is she's at home, beep, beep, beep. he's interrupting the time that she would need to think about him, which is causing her to lose more and more interest, or at the very least, not see him as being a match. Because this is a lot of feminine energy, a lot of simping behavior, a lot of simping text, all these things. It's not helpful, right? So then he says, when do you leave for Phoenix? And then she responds back and says, like 2 hours, I think. I'll listen to that song you sent on the plane. Also of note, you got to notice how often that they're sending texts back and forth. So he texts her 3:44, sent a bunch of stuff, and then she texts back like 2 hours later. And then he texts her like an hour and a half after that and says, cool, have a safe flight. And then the next day she texts him at 4:18, almost 20 hours later. And she says, I was going to say, I kind of love the word favorite friend. That's probably an inside joke, maybe from the song that he sent. I have no idea. But he sent back a text saying, don't tempt me, might make it your nickname going forward. So he's already talking about future speak. Oh, I'm going to give you this nickname. Oh, I see we have a future. These are the things that, unbeknownst to you, guy, are going to make her lose more and more interest. You're already saying to her, I see a future together. She doesn't even know she wants a second date yet, and you're already talking about future speak. This is the stuff that starts to cause the downward spiral of her affection for you. So then she says, I'm good. I'm very happy to be with my friends. They're good people. So now he's texting her while she's in the midst of friends and on vacation. This is a no-no, guys. So then he texts back at 9:24 p.m. that night. That's what's up. Enjoy your trip. When you get back, let's go out. No. I know there are guys out there to say, hey, at the end of a date, you should say, I had a good time. Let's set the next date. Or in the midst of texting, we should do something soon again. This is not how this is supposed to work, guy. What's supposed to happen is you wait 4 days to contact her for another date, and you hit her up the next time, say, hey, hope you had a great week. I found this great restaurant. I'd love to take you out. Very, very simple. You don't send ambiguous stuff like, when you get back, let's go out. And also, this is now future speak. Future speak is never going to help a woman's interest grow for you. So stop throwing out, we should do this thing in the future, unless you're actually calling her up in the moment to say, hey, let's go on a date tomorrow. That's as close to the future as you can do. But you saying, hey, we should go on a date this week, and then next week there's this other thing coming up, and then 2 weeks from now, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're not going to set up your life as if you already have her in it. She needs to earn that time. So you ask her out one date at a time. Anyway, so what's her response to Mr. When you get back, let's go out? Well, her response is, she texts her at 9:24 p.m. on a Saturday, and he hears nothing back for 3 days. And then at 9:51 a.m. on that Wednesday, he says, good morning. What's he doing? He's now sending a good morning text with no context of anything. This is why I tell you guys, you don't need to send good morning texts to women to attract them. It does not work. Yes, it feels great to be acknowledged in the morning, but we're worried about, but is that building attraction? Sending good morning text does not build attraction. She waits all the way until 7:53 p.m. that same Wednesday and says, hey, sorry for the late response. He sends back a thumb emoji. He says, are you back in Vegas? And then the death knell. She says, I am, but I need to say that I just got out of a serious relationship pretty recently, and I realized I'm really not ready to be romantically involved with anyone. If you're open to being friends, so am I, but I can't do more than that. Let me just translate the womanese that's going on here. Hey, guy, I am back in Vegas, but I didn't hit you up because you sent me a lot of texts during my vacation that made me realize you're already feeling a lot for me, and my feelings haven't quite gotten there yet. And because our feelings aren't quite matching up, I'm now starting to feel that ick. And I was just in a relationship. I was just trying to have some fun and maybe go out a few times, but I wasn't expecting anything serious yet. And you're already making it feel like it's super serious by sending me good morning texts and trying to plan future stuff and give me a nickname. So now I need to back away from you so I can get with another guy that's going to maybe pay me less attention and make it feel like less is a relationship, which will then allow me to actually like build up feelings for him in the right way at the right pace. That's what she's actually trying to say. So then, of course, he says, I appreciate the honesty and I enjoyed getting to know you. That said, we're not on the same wavelength. I'm not in a place where I want to allocate more time and effort to making friends. Let's leave it open and amicable. If things align later on, let's reconnect. If not, no worries. Now, I will say, I do like the way he ended this because this is the kind of response that you can have that if you respond this way, a woman might come back later and say, you know what, he was actually really nice and we had a good first date. And I mean, I thought he was giving me so much energy in the beginning, but you know what, maybe he wasn't being as clean as I felt he was in those texts. So I'll give him another shot. And because you left it in a nice way, she may be open to that. But the reality is, all the stuff I just pointed out are things that most guys that don't do this stuff for a living don't analyze and don't realize they're making some mistakes. So to recap, sending an after-date text, sending a good morning text, sending a future-sounding text, sending a quadruple text in a row. These are things that you may not be aware are going to actually turn women off, and they might not even be aware of it themselves. And I'm sure I'll have women on this video saying, Harry, you're wrong. I love when guys quadruple text me. I love good morning texts. Yeah, by guys you're already in a relationship with. But women across the board, again, I give all this advice based on my experience and the experience of guys that I've coached. Across the board, this is the stuff that typically turns women off. So don't have this fear that you got to stay on the phone in order to raise her interest, or that you need to have these kinds of conversations or send these kind of texts to build her interest. Because spoiler, they're not. And guys, if you need more help with your texting game, I got a great book at my website called Texting Like a Boss. It's basically the 21 texting commandments that you need to follow so you'll know when to send a woman a text, when not to, the kinds of texts to send, and the ones that you need to steer away from, okay? You can get that book at the website right now, introvertdatingsuccess.com, under the products tab. All right, guys, so let's get on to this last story. This is about to take you guys through a roller coaster. And this is going to be an example of why it is that women ghost. Because the few times in a woman's life where she tries to just tell a guy straight up, hey, I had a good time on a date, but I'm not all that interested, they don't usually get the response that the guy in the previous story get, where it's like, hey, I get it, we're on the same wavelength, it's amicable. More often than not, they're getting these texts back that range from like being called out of their name to darn near threatening violence against them. I had a friend that recently had a stalker that she said, hey, I'm no longer interested. And he was just sending text after text, you stupid B word, and I'm gonna find you and kill you and all this other stuff. Like, these are legit experiences women go through. But I need you all to see it in real time. So let's get into this woman's story. So basically she said on Reddit, she said, a longtime friend of mine suggested I go on a date with this man who was on the fringes of my social group. He had been getting closer with him lately and said we would get along. I had seen this man before and he was cute, so I thought, why not? Bad idea. We got coffee Wednesday evening and took my dogs for a walk and then sat and chatted. I instantly knew it wasn't going to work, but I wanted to be nice because women want to be nice. This all happened since then. He has called me at like 6 a.m. both days since and won't stop. I had over 30 missed calls from him. This is the kind of harassment that women get more often than not when they're being rejected. So for me, I'll say this, early on in my dating life, because I realized this, I was never the guy that over pursued a woman if she wasn't interested. If I asked her out on the date, she's like, I'm not interested. I'd be like, are you sure? I have a great place I want to take you, yada, yada, yada. No, I don't feel it. I'd be like, as much as it would suck, I'd be like, but I want to see her. I really, really like her. I would just be like, okay, well, best of luck to you. And I have to sit with that. And it was painful and it hurt, but you know what? That's better than getting a potential stalking charge or some kind of other kind of charge that I don't want to get simply because I'm not getting what I want. So let's see how the guy in her story reacted to that. So here's a text. It says, hey, I just wanted to say I had a really good time with you tonight. You really seem like a good egg. I can't tell you how many bad dates I've been on the last year or two, so it was really nice to get to know you. Would like you to go out for dinner with me on Friday. I know you said you didn't like doing full-on dinner dates with people until you felt comfortable and knew them, but I figured tonight went so well, maybe we can give it a shot. So right out the gate, he's already kind of disrespecting a thing that she said where it's like, hey, I don't do dinner dates. And he's already assuming, well, we had a good time, so you must be comfortable with me. He's not even asking her, hey, so I just want to know, do you feel comfortable enough yet to do a dinner date, or do we need to do some other kind of date? Just is already assuming, right? Here's her response. Very nice, by the way. She says, hey, thank you for the compliments. I'm really sorry, but I will not be able to go to dinner on Friday or do any sort of meetups with you going forward. I appreciate the time and effort you have put forth so far, but I don't believe we are romantically compatible. I am sorry if that disappoints you. I wish you good luck in all your endeavors. Now, how I got a text like this, again, I'd have been a little butthurt. I'd have heard a little BS in there like, oh, you know, but at the end of the day, I'd have been like, hey, at least she's being respectful. She's saying she had a good time, but I'm not for her. Just like there's gonna be some women that I date that aren't for me. We all have the ability to choose who we want in this world. Totally fine. I'd be like, you know what? I understand. Best of luck to you in your endeavors. And I've been on my way. How did this guy respond? He responded, What do you mean we aren't compatible? We had a great time. We were laughing and joking a lot. You were smiling a lot. On my end, I really felt we had a connection. So does that mean you were just faking? So already you can tell where this is going to go. But anyway, she says, no, I wasn't faking. I smile and laugh with a lot of people. It doesn't mean that I want to sleep with them or date them. It's just how normal conversations go, and I'm a friendly, outgoing person. I know it's a cliche saying, but I just didn't feel a spark, and I wanted to be honest about it. I don't see the point in leading you on and going any further. Again, still being nice, still being respectful, just being honest about her feelings in the situation. His response, no, I don't believe that. I can tell by the way you were smiling, it was more than friendly smiling. I'm not an idiot. So what's the real reason then? Are you seeing someone else? So now we're starting to get to, he's already in his feelings. He's already saying, well, what you're saying is a lie. You must have had a good time because X, Y, and Z. I tell you guys all the time, women can be friendly to you, to their dog, to their friends, to their family. Like none of that means that they're building romantic feelings. It's just women know how to be nice. They are socialized and trained to be nice people. So they're hoping they can be that nice with you, even if they're not feeling a thing, because they ultimately don't want to hurt your feelings, but they don't want to be with a guy that they don't actually have feelings for. So then she says, what? No, I'm not seeing anybody. I told you that I haven't been dating for a while with everything going on. I told you the real reason. That's it. I'm going to bed now. I'm not meaning to be rude, and I don't have any ill wishes toward you. Let's just leave it at that and part now as friends. Good night. His response, you have to be kidding me. And then he just goes on a texting spree. So that's it. Just wash your hands of me after one shot, and that's it. Is this that playing hard to get that some girls like to do? So you can tell he's got extreme baggage from previous situations to where he's just assuming any girl that says that she doesn't like him is automatically playing games or is playing hard to get. And so many guys, by the way, buy into this whole like, women play hard to get. No, women that are showing quote unquote mixed signals, they don't like you but don't know how to tell you. That is, just take that with you as a lesson. If they're showing you mixed signals or they're saying they're not interested, that means that they're not interested and they don't want to be with you, because women that like you will help you. Women that don't either won't help you, they'll ghost you, or they'll say things to you as nice as they possible, like, hey, I'm not interested, hoping that you take that for what it's worth and not try to read into it into these other scenarios. So then he says, like, you want me to try harder and grovel for your attention, which is why I tell you guys, that's not a thing women want you to do. He says, F that, no, F that, I know my value. I could get another girl to go out with me on Friday in 5 minutes if I tried. He has a lot of spelling errors here, which comes into play later. He says, you know what? I've been thinking about this a lot since last night. You know what? You know what I think it is? I think you are just afraid. You do actually like me a lot, and you are scared to get hurt, so you're pushing me away. It spooked you. You probably got used to being alone since your illness, spoiler, she has cancer or had cancer, and now you don't know how to accept affection from a man. So he's now creating a story for her about, oh, you must be going through things and feeling things, so therefore that's why you're acting out this way. Guys, women sometimes just aren't gonna like you, or they're not gonna feel that spark. They're not playing games, but if you're trying to read into it because your ego's hurt, you're gonna read into it as playing games, and they just don't wanna be with you. So she didn't respond to any of that, so then he texts, hello? Can you please answer your phone? I just wanna talk real quick. And then scratches out something, and then says, come on, let me take you out tonight. We can talk about this. I really think there is something there for us. You just need to give it a chance. So-and-so, our mutual friend, wouldn't have set us up if he didn't believe I was a good guy for you. So he's already buying to the narrative, I'm a nice guy. She's not showing me the respect that I deserve, and therefore, I now gotta play Mr. Tough Guy and let her know that I am somebody she should date. Her response, man, she's still nicer than I would have been, but she says, listen, you need to stop calling and texting me. It's not even 7 a.m. and you've called me twice and texted 4 times. I'm telling you again, I don't want to be rude, and I would like to remain friendly, because with us both being friends with mutual acquaintance and others, I don't want it to be awkward when we run into each other in public. But this is way too intense and just way too much. I do not have any sort of romantic attraction to you. I'm not lying or spooked or scared. That's just the truth. Please let it go, or I will have to block you. Thank you. Even after all that, she still said thank you and still saying, I'm trying to be respectful here, guy. Let it go. Could he let it go? No. He says, block me. Ha 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 ha. Laugh my A off. Listen, Listen, yeah, you might be hot for your age, but what else you have going for you? No high-value man wants to wife a 35-year-old cancer patient past her prime. The best you are good for is a screw anyway. So now we get into, this is why a lot of women fear dating nice guys, because guys that say they are nice, they've experienced the guy that said that, and then when he didn't get his way, said all this stuff or acted out in more harsh ways, right? So you can't be mad at women for being like, you don't date nice guys, blah, blah, blah. If you label yourself as a nice guy, take that label off of you right now, because it is not doing you any favors for this very reason. These are the kind of guys that screw up the nice guy label. So then she says, lovely. Really, who would have seen this coming? What happened to, we had a connection and I really think there's something there for us. You guys are literally all the same. Such a nice guy. So now she's got the taste of nice guy on her tongue and it tastes horrible. So then he says, I am an effing nice guy. You bees are all the same though. So we have become cold or else you'd all just walk all over us. I was only saying that-ish anyway to get in your pants. Boom. Don't know why I even bothered. You're a 6 at best. You're sick and unhealthy. You're also a D word. She's bi, so he's calling her the D slur for women. And that's probably the real reason you led me on. Christ, wasted my effing time again. Really, now you're too good to answer me or something? Blank said you weren't like all the other girls. Clearly you have him fooled. You probably already effed him though, right? So then she goes for the nuclear. She says, you know what? I was trying to be nice to you so it wouldn't be awkward in public when we see each other, but you clearly don't care, so why should I? No, I haven't effed, friend. Not that it's your business. We've been friends for 14 years, and no, me being bi is not why I'm rejecting you. You really want to know why? So, why did she actually reject this guy? So here's what she says. She says, first, your crippling insecurity and need to boast to make up for it. You aren't even close to 6 feet, so why lie? I'm like 5'2". You being 5'8" doesn't matter to me at all. So he lied about his height. But the fact that you double down and have a tantrum when it's brought up is a clear red flag. You spent over a half hour talking about your previous hookups and how they were all whores and bees and you were too good for them. No girl wants to hear that on a first date. You also clearly lied about your job, salary, living situation, etc. to make yourself seem like someone you are clearly not. I think you forgot I know several people who know you quite well. Did you think I didn't ask for the basics before going out with you? Lastly, you have your head way too far up your own ass. You keep talking about what you expect and deserve being a high value man. You are not even close to high value. If we were comparing values, I would say you are like the dollar store when you think you're a Prada. You use so many manosphere talking points and terms that I wanted to run within the first 15 minutes of meeting you, but I didn't want to be rude. Oh, then he says, wow, F you, B, you aren't special. She says, I'm blocking you now. Bye. Have a good life. He says, who the F do you think you are? She says, one more thing, learn how to effing spell. Your grammar, spelling, and punctuation is absolutely atrocious. Are you an almost 40-year-old man or a 16-year-old girl? Because I can't tell from your messages. Peace out. Bravo to her. And by the way, the thing she says about the manosphere talking points, obviously, guys, if you're watching my content, I'm a guy. I talk about a lot of stuff as it pertains to you as a guy doing things in the dating world. So I could be considered a guy that's in the manosphere talking points. I try to keep my stuff positive, but obviously there's a lot of negative commentary that's out there from the manosphere at large. Guys, women do not want to hear you talking about, oh, high value man this, and oh, women are bees that, and they only want hypergamous guys. Like, they don't want to hear that stuff on dates. So even if you are watching that kind of stuff, don't bring it up. It's not going to make them feel any better about dating you, and you're not proving any points by doing it. But yeah, this guy went down the freaking rabbit hole of insults, and she had every right to get rid of him. But you see now, guys, why, for the girls that are watching this, why women are more likely to ghost. Because they don't want to deal with this. And I assure you, a lot of women have had to deal with this kind of response to guys where they are absolutely more often likely to want to ghost a guy than to actually say, I'm not interested. So don't hold that against them. Guys, if you get ghosted, just know what it is. But also, if a woman rejects you, just take the freaking rejection. There are plenty of other women out there that you can date if they're not feeling you, and they don't deserve this kind of treatment. That's all I got for today, guys. Thanks for watching this episode of Harry Dating Conversations. If you want to see something talked about on the show specifically, write to me at HarryWilmington@gmail.com, or you can leave it down in the comments below. Also, feel free to support the show by leaving a cash at $HarryWilmington, or leaving a super chat somewhere on my page. Be sure to go to introvertdatingsuccess.com to check out my eBooks, audiobooks, programs, and coaching programs, all designed to help you date as your introverted self while still getting your precious alone time. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next show. I'm out. Peace.